I'm Jake, 30 years old, a mechanic from Colorado who spends more time with engines than people. My life was simple, but it was mine. Early mornings, long shifts, grease under my nails, and diesel in my lungs. Then Amber came along, and everything changed. We met at a friend's barbecue 3 years ago. She laughed at my stupid jokes, didn't care that I showed up in a stained flannel. She said I looked real, not like the fake guys in her office. I thought I'd won the lottery. We started dating right away. She'd bring me lunch at the shop during my break. She'd smile, watching me fix engines like it was magic. Called me her manly man. I fell hard for her kindness and warmth. We went hiking on weekends, cooked pasta in my small kitchen, watched old movies on my couch until midnight. For a while, it felt perfect. After a year, she moved in. I was nervous but happy. I'd finally built a home worth sharing. At first, we were a team. She helped decorate, made the house feel alive. Her laugh filled every room. But slowly, things shifted. It started with small comments. Can you shower before hugging me? You smell like the garage again. I brushed it off. Thought she was just tired. Then came the excuses. She stopped helping with bills. Said her paycheck was late. Then it was, I'll cover groceries next time. Next time never came. She still looked amazing though. Perfect hair. Perfect smile. People stared at her wherever we went. I didn't mind. I was proud to have her by my side. But I didn't realize I was starting to lose her. The change became obvious when she got her new job. A tech startup downtown. Exposed brick walls. Trendy people with fancy titles and big dreams. Amber fit right in. New clothes. New attitude. New friends I'd never met. She said it was a better environment. She stopped coming home early. Started staying out late for networking events. Her phone buzzed more than usual. When I asked, she rolled her eyes. This is how professionals network, Jake. The way she said professionals stung. Like my work didn't count. She started talking about a guy named Liam. He was the CEO's nephew. Rich, confident. The kind of man who never had to lift a finger. I heard his name every day. Liam took us to lunch. Liam thinks I have potential. Liam says I should buy a new car. It wasn't jealousy I felt. It was something colder. A quiet knowing that I was being replaced. I still loved her though. Loved the girl who once kissed me smelling of gasoline and laughter. I hoped she'd come back to that version of herself. But deep down I already knew. That woman was gone. The real cracks started to show 6 months after Amber's new job. She was different now. Sharper with her words. Colder in her eyes. She stopped kissing me when I came home from work. Stopped asking about my day. Her world revolved around that office. And around Liam. Every story she told started with his name. Liam said this. Liam did that. Liam knows everyone in the industry. I tried to smile and pretend I didn't notice. But every time she talked about him, I felt smaller. One night, she came home wearing a new dress I'd never seen before. It wasn't cheap. When I asked about it, she said, it's for work events, image matters. I nodded, pretending it made sense. But the bill came on my credit card. She called it an investment. Her voice sounded like someone rehearsing a lie. Soon, she was getting her hair done every 2 weeks. Nails every week. Always for work. Always with new expenses that somehow landed on me. I worked overtime to keep up. She said I didn't understand the professional lifestyle. That line became her favorite insult. Every time she said it, a piece of me went quiet. Her old warmth was gone. Replaced by this shiny version that smiled for strangers, but never for me. When I tried to hold her, she pulled away. Said she was tired. Said she had early meetings. Her phone started lighting up after midnight. I saw Liam's name flash once before she turned it over. She said it was just work stuff. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But you can feel when someone's heart has left the room. It's like the air changes. She began comparing us without realizing it. Liam had a Tesla. I had a pickup. Liam went to wine tastings. I drank beer with my friends. Liam talked about investments. I talked about engines. One night, she looked at me and sighed. "You're a good guy, Jake. You just think too small." I didn't argue. What could I say? She wanted more. I just didn't know she meant someone else. Then came that Friday. She was in our bedroom packing a suitcase. Bright dresses. Sunscreen. Sandals. All beach stuff. I asked, "Going somewhere?" She said, "Yeah, Liam's hosting a company weekend at his beach house." I asked, "Cool, what time should I pack?" She stopped folding her clothes and stared at me like I'd said something stupid. "You're not invited, Jake. It's a work thing." That was the moment everything went still inside me. The girl who used to call me her manly man was now ashamed to be seen with me. I smiled, kept my voice calm, and said, "Have fun." She didn't notice that something in me broke quietly. Because by the time she drove off that night, I already knew what I was going to do. I sat on the couch that night staring at the empty space she left behind. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I could still smell her perfume on the pillow. But it didn't hurt anymore. It just felt fake, like the person she'd become. I called my best friend, Tom. Told him everything. He listened without interrupting. Then he said, "You don't deserve this, man. Do something about it." That's when the plan started forming. Not revenge. Just closure. I wasn't going to fight or beg. I was going to end it my way. Saturday morning, I called Tom again. He owns a small moving company. I told him I needed his truck and a few guys. "Whose stuff we moving?" he asked. "Amber," I said, "all of it." He paused, then said, "You sure?" "Completely." By 9 a.m., the truck was in my driveway. We started packing everything she owned. Her designer clothes. Her skincare. Her expensive coffee machine. Her mountain of shoes. Every single trace of her life in my home. I wasn't angry. We wrapped everything neatly. Labeled boxes by room. I treated her things better than she treated me. Then I found the journal. Hidden in her nightstand. My hands shook when I opened it. The words hit like cold air. Liam is everything Jake is. He's sophisticated, exciting, successful. My chest felt heavy, but I kept reading. She's planning her new life, I thought. And using my house as a waiting room. There were printed texts too. Notes from him. Comments about me. He's sweet but so basic. I need more than a guy who smells like oil. I didn't even feel sad anymore. Just done. By noon, we had everything loaded. 23 boxes. 6 bins. 2 lamps. 1 fake relationship packed up in cardboard. I rented a storage unit under her name. Paid 3 months in advance. Wrote the address and access code on a card. Then I called a locksmith. Changed every lock on the house. When he handed me the new keys, it felt like breathing after holding my breath for years. That evening, I sat at the kitchen table with a pen and paper. I wrote her a note. Calm. Simple. No anger. Just truth. "Amber, your things are in storage. The information is with Liam. The locks are changed. This is my house. You never paid rent. You never contributed. You're free to move on." I taped the note to the counter and left the keys inside an envelope marked with her name. Then I looked around the room one last time. No tears. No hesitation. I turned off the lights, locked the door from the outside, and drove away. For the first time in years, I felt like I had finally taken my life back. She came back Sunday night around 9. I was at my friend's place, drinking a beer, waiting for it to happen. The first call came at 9:15. Then another. And another. By the sixth one, I finally muted my phone. Her voicemails started piling up. At first, she sounded confused. "Jake, my key doesn't work. Did you change the locks?" Then her voice turned sharp. "This isn't funny. Let me in right now." 10 minutes later, she was yelling. "You can't do this to me. Where's my stuff?" Then came the begging. "Please, I need to talk to you. You're overreacting." By midnight, her tone cracked into desperation. "Liam said I can't stay with him. Please, I have nowhere to go." I waited until morning before replying once. "Everything you need is in the note." That was all. Then I blocked her number. Monday afternoon, I got a new call from an unknown number. I answered, thinking it might be work. It was Liam. He sounded smug, like he owned the world. "Hey man, we need to talk about this situation." "No, we don't. Leaving her homeless is kind of extreme, don't you think?" I laughed quietly. "Should have thought about that before you invited her to your beach house." He hesitated. "That was just a work trip." "Sure," I said. "Tell that to the love notes I found." Silence. I could almost hear him swallow his pride. "She's telling people you're controlling, man. Tell her to show them the proof I collected." More silence. Then he hung up. I blocked his number too. Tuesday came. A text from another unknown number appeared. Amber again. "Please, Jake, can we meet? I just want to explain." I ignored it for 2 days. Then I agreed. Saturday morning. Coffee shop downtown. 30 minutes. When she walked in, she looked nothing like herself. Hair messy. No makeup. Dark circles under her eyes. She sat down quietly. "Thanks for coming," she said. "You've got 30 minutes. She started crying right away. "It wasn't what you think. Liam and I were just friends." I said nothing. She kept talking fast. "It was a mistake. I should have told you. I was stupid." I pulled out my phone. Opened a photo of her journal. Read it out loud. "Jake is sweet but so basic. I need more than a man who smells like oil." Her face went pale. "You read that?" "Yeah," I said, "right after finding your pros and cons list." She looked down, trembling. "I didn't mean it." "You did," I said calmly. "And that's okay. You just don't get to use me while chasing someone else." She begged again. "Please, give me one more chance." I stood up. "This was your second chance. You spent it at Liam's beach house." I walked away, leaving her there in silence. And for the first time, I didn't look back. The weeks after that meeting felt different. Quieter. Lighter. I could finally breathe again. No more waiting for her texts. No more pretending everything was fine. I focused on work. My boss noticed right away. He said I looked like a man who dropped 100 pounds of stress. Maybe I had. 2 months later, I got promoted to lead mechanic. A $15,000 raise and better hours. I bought a new set of tools. Paid off my truck. Started going to the gym with Tom after work. Every rep felt like shaking off another piece of the past. At home, I repainted the walls. Tossed every trace of her style out of the house. The place finally looked like mine again. I adopted a German Shepherd puppy. Named him Rex. He chewed on my boots and slept by the door. He never cared what I smelled like after work. That was the kind of loyalty I needed. Meanwhile, word about Amber spread around town. A friend told me Liam dumped her after 2 weeks. Said she'd misunderstood what they had. He went back to his luxury life. She went back to her parents' house. Her mom, apparently, was furious. Gave her 2 weeks to find her own place. Amber ended up in a tiny apartment near downtown. Peeling paint. Broken heater. Rent she could barely afford. The girl who used to post champagne selfies was now clipping coupons. She lost her job a month later. Rumors about her and Liam reached HR. They called it unprofessional behavior. No one wanted her back. When I heard, I didn't feel joy. Just a quiet sense of balance. You can't cheat karma. It always catches up. A few weeks later, she called again from another number. I almost ignored it, but answered out of curiosity. Her voice cracked. "Jake, I'm drowning. I can't pay rent. My car broke down. Please help me." I listened without saying a word. Then I said, "You made your choices, Amber." She started crying. "I know. I just thought maybe you could lend me something, just this once." "No," I said. "Get a roommate. Sell the clothes you bought with my card. Figure it out." She whispered, "You used to care about me." I did, about who you were, not who you became. Then I hung up. That was the last time I heard her voice. Months passed. I ran into her at the grocery store once. She looked tired and small. Cheap clothes. Empty eyes. She tried to smile, but it didn't reach her face. "Hi, Jake," she said quietly. I nodded. "Hope things get better for you." Then I walked away. No anger left. No hate. Just peace. Because the truth was simple. I didn't lose her. She lost me. 6 months passed before I heard from her again. It came in the mail. A small white envelope with my name written in her handwriting. No return address. Just silence and ink. I almost threw it away. But curiosity made me open it. Inside was a letter, 3 pages long. The first line stopped me cold. "Jake, you were right about everything." Her words were shaky, but honest. She wrote about the nights she cried alone in that tiny apartment. About living off instant noodles and cheap coffee. About working 2 jobs and still coming up short. She said Liam disappeared right after dumping her. Blocked her number. Pretended she never existed. Her parents refused to help again. She said she finally understood what real struggle felt like. "Being hungry," she wrote, "taught me the value of what I threw away." She admitted using me. Admitted that she wanted more than a quiet life. She thought money and status would make her happy. Instead, they left her empty. She said the storage unit I'd rented for her became her first real home for a week. She slept there, surrounded by boxes, before she could afford an apartment. That part hit me hard. Not out of pity, but truth. Consequences finally found her. She thanked me for not destroying her things. Thanked me for giving her time to stand on her own feet. She called it the lesson I needed to grow up. She said, "I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I see it now." Every sentence felt like the ghost of who she used to be. At the end, she wrote, "You were the good man I wasn't ready for." She hoped I was happy. She hoped someone better was by my side. And she said she was trying to become someone who deserved the kind of love I gave. I folded the letter carefully. Put it in the top drawer of my desk. Didn't cry. Didn't smile either. Just sat there for a while, letting the quiet fill the room. Maybe she meant it. Maybe she didn't. But it didn't really matter anymore. Her story had ended long before that letter arrived. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even sad. I just felt free. The kind of freedom that comes when you finally stop carrying someone else's mistakes. Life had moved on. Work was steady. Rex was bigger, louder, and loyal as ever. Sometimes I'd sit on the porch with a beer, watching the sunset over the mountains. And I'd think about how simple peace really is. No drama. No noise. Just quiet satisfaction that I did the right thing. People say revenge feels good. They're wrong. Letting go feels better. Because in the end, I didn't just lose Amber. I found myself. I never wrote her back. There was nothing left to say. Her words were closure enough. The kind that doesn't need a reply. I kept the letter as a reminder. Not of pain, but of peace. Life has a way of balancing itself. You give. You lose. Then one day, you breathe again. The house feels like home now. Every wall holds only my laughter. No tension. No pretending. Just quiet freedom. I wake up early, take Rex for walks, drink coffee on the porch. The air feels lighter. The silence feels like music. Sometimes I think about her, but not with anger. Just acceptance. She made her choices. And I made mine. People say love changes you. They're right. It made me stronger. It taught me that peace isn't found in holding on. It's found in letting go. Because some goodbyes don't need to be loud. They just need to be final. And when I close my eyes at night, I don't see her anymore. I see everything I've become since she left.